The long-awaited feature of Dynamax is officially now in Pokemon Go with the new Max Out event. Here we're talking about that event, Dynamax, everything you need to know, so let's get into it. Okay, so this event is going to be going down September 10th, 10 a.m. to September 15th, 8 p.m. your local time. During the event, we're going to have the bonuses of 2 times XP for winning a Max Battle, as well as 2 times XP for spinning Pokestops. We'll also see the Dynamax debuts of Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Squavit, and Wooloo all in the 1-star Max Battles. And yes, they can all be shiny encountered after the Max Battles once you defeat them. We're going to talk about how Dynamax works in a little bit. We'll also, of course, have Pokestop showcases during the event, and there'll be an exclusive web store bundle you can go ahead and buy for $7.99 USD, getting the Max Particle Pack, which will get you 6 Max Particle Packs for a total of 4,800 Max Particles for all your Dynamax needs. We're going to talk about Max Particles in a second. Now, we also have some exclusive research going down during the event. Starting with the field research task, collect 100 Max Particles can get you 2 Revives, 500 Stardust, or 2 Super Potions. Collect 400 Max Particles can get you a Squavit or a Wooloo encounter. Collect Max Particles from a Power Stop will get you a Squavit or a Wooloo encounter. Collect Max Particles from 3 Power Stops will get you Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle encounter. And win a Max Battle will get you a Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle encounter. None of these are Dynamax forms of them. You don't get Dynamax forms from the field research, but you can still hunt them if you want. Also, of course, there will be the Max Out special research, which actually has been out for a while, but this is the introduction special research. I'll put the tasks on screen, but this is what you want to start off with to get your first Dynamax Wooloo, so you have something to start your Dynamax adventures with. Okay, let's talk about Dynamax. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering how this new thing is going to work. Well, I'm going to put on screen a graphic from Flare Blaze, fully breaking this down. We're going to talk through this step by step with everything we know about Dynamax and what you can expect from it. So first of all, if you haven't seen in-game, we've seen Power Stops be released slowly this past week, and you can go ahead and interact with those Power Stops, even though there's been no Max Battles at them. And from these Power Stops, we're going to have Max Battles starting to appear. For now, though, if you do go ahead and visit a Power Stop, you can go ahead and collect something called Max Particles, which are items that are going to be needed to go ahead and do Max Battles similar to like a raid pass, as well as upgrade your Max moves. Anyway, let's go through it step by step. First of all, Max Battles are going to be done with a max of 4 trainers. You can go up to 4 trainers, and it's going to be a turned-based battle. It's not going to be like raids where you just tap, tap, tap. It's going to be you attack, and then the Max Pokemon attacks, vice versa, similar to the main series Pokemon games if you ever played those. There is no timer. There's no max amount of time. You're not going to get kicked out if you don't defeat it in a certain amount of time like raids. No timer, that's great. The only way you lose if all of your Pokemon and your teammates' Pokemon faint. That's how you fail a Max Battle. Now, there's going to be a bar that you can go ahead and charge up called the, I guess, Max Bar or the D-Max meter. Once you fill this up, you fill it up by attacking. You can go ahead and Dynamax your Pokemon in the battle. Once you defeat them, of course, you can go ahead and catch the Dynamax or the Max Pokemon you went and defeated, in which your Pokeball will kind of become like an upgraded Pokeball, and you can chuck it really hard at the Pokemon. The balls are, I guess, being called Max Balls, not Premier Balls, Max Balls. And then once you defeat a Max Battle, you can go ahead and station a Pokemon at that Power Stop, and if anyone else goes and takes down that Max Battle or tries, they're going to get a damage increase because you've stationed Pokemon there to help them. You also will get candy for the Pokemon you end up stationing there if trainers successfully take down the Dynamax Pokemon with your help. Kind of like the gym system a bit. If you station a Bulbasaur, someone, takes down that Max Battle, you'll get some Bulbasaur candies. Kind of cool. Nonetheless, Max Particles, what are these items? These are a new type of resource in Pokemon Go that are pretty much only for Dynamax. You can get them for completely free by going to a Power Stop every single day, going and clicking on them. They'll be kind of like floating around. You just click to collect them. I'm sure you've maybe even done it already. You can also, of course, purchase Max Particles from the in-game shop. Finally, another way to get Max Particles is by walking a certain amount of distance a day. It seems like you get 300 Max Particles a day by walking 2 kilometers, we believe is the value. And by the way, there isn't a max amount of Max Particles. I believe it's 1,000 Max Particles every single day you can collect for completely free without having spent more money or spending more money. Power Stops. Power Stops are, of course, where you collect Max Particles and compete in Dynamax battles. They rotate every single day and are completely randomly put on the map, so no matter where you are in the world, you can find Power Stops. And again, they do change every single day. So just because you know there's a Power Stop there one day, or I think it's like every couple days, doesn't mean it's going to be there forever. Okay, Max Battles, let's talk about them. They're going to be, of course, in person only. You cannot remote into these, so you have to be there with your 4 friends or however many friends you have. They're going to have difficulties similar to raids with 1, 3, and 5-star Max Battles. So, of course, harder for the harder raid bosses. Like if you get legendary Dynamax Pokemon, then most likely they will be 5-star Dynamax battles or Max Battles, whatever you want to call them. When you are entering Dynamax battles, you can only use Dynamaxed Pokemon. Now there is the Max Out special research, which you have probably gotten, and you do get an encounter with a Dynamax Wooloo to get you started on your Max journey. But just know that any of your old Pokemon you've powered up, you cannot use them in these Max battles. So yes, it is a very contained thing where any of your old Pokemon are kind of useless in these max battles. You can, of course, bring up to 3 Dynamax Pokemon, similar to like a PvP battle. And of course, during the battles, your Pokemon will start non-Dynamax, and once you fill out that meter, you can go ahead and Dynamax, and the Dynamax will last for 3 turns before you'll revert and have to recharge that. For now, Dynamax Pokemon, by the way, can only be used in Dynamax battles. They cannot be used in PvP or raids, but maybe that will come in the future, hopefully, because right now it seems like there's not really much value, I guess, in doing it, but I guess it is a cool, fun thing. Now, let's talk about max moves. Your Pokemon can learn up to 3 max moves with your attack max move, your guard max move, and your spirit max move. Now, every Pokemon is going to automatically come with the max attack move for completely free, and then you can go ahead and use Stardust and Candy to unlock the guard or the spirit attack. Of course, the attack is the one that's going to do damage, so that's going to go ahead and inflict damage on the opponent. You can use your guard attack, which will reduce incoming damage from the Dynamax opposing Pokemon, I guess you could say. Then finally, the spirit move, which go ahead and heal up you and your teammates. So you have 3 different options you can do. And remember, you can only use 1 move per turn, and you get 3 moves of Dynamax. So choose carefully what move you decide to use. It's obviously going to depend on, if you're low on health, maybe decide to do a little healing. If you're good on health, attack, do some damage. And you can power up your max moves, by the way. You can power up individually the max attack, guard, and spirit move. You can go ahead and use max particles, Stardust, Candy, and XL Candy to go ahead and level up your max moves, which will just make them more effective. My guess is more damage or, more healing, etc. All max moves, though, of course, do start at level 1 when you catch that Pokemon. Once you defeat a max raid, by the way, you will get some rewards, and introduced as well is upgrading your rewards. You can now play Pokecoins to get more max balls, more, different rewards, golden raspberry, stuff like that. Is it going to be worth it? Probably not, but this does seem to be a new way Niantic, I guess, is trying to make people spend money on the game. I guess you could see a point, like if there's a way to know the CP and it's a hundo, you might want to upgrade your rewards so you have more balls to make sure you catch it. Again, we don't know how hard these things are going to be to catch as well, so we'll have to wait and see, but yeah, I don't know if upgrading your rewards is really going to be worth it for Pokecoins. Finally, of course, once you defeat it, you can, like we mentioned, station your Pokemon at those power stops, and of course, you can remove your station Pokemon at any point through the menu if you would like, as well as when that power stop does disappear, your Pokemon will automatically come back to you. Okay, I hope that kind of explained Dynamax to you guys. I am going to be making a full guide once we have Dynamax in the game for a couple of days, breaking down everything we know, the actual specific numbers, top tips, and strategies about Dynamax, so stay tuned for that, but hopefully that gets you started on your Dynamax adventure. Now, of course, we do have 5 Dynamax Pokemon coming to Pokemon Go, so let's talk about which one is going to be the best to go ahead and hunt in the max raids and focus on. Let's start with all the Generation 1 starters. All the Generation 1 starters, of course, by the way, I didn't mention that the max attack move will copy the type of your move. So, of course, the Generation 1 starters cover the grass, fire, and water type counters, which are pretty useful counters for any potential future Dynamax Pokemon that might come to Pokemon Go. And of course, all these Pokemon do have access to their community moves of Hydro Cannon, Blast Burn, and Frenzy Plant, which are very, very good moves for when they're not Dynamax. So definitely recommend getting all 3 of those, at least one of all 3 of those, so you can use those for the future, especially because Dynamax Charizard, Venusaur, and Blastoise will be pretty strong for when you need those counters. But specifically, we got to shout out Charizard, and the reason why is that Charizard can learn 3 different max moves. It can learn a Fire max move, a Flying max move, and a Dragon max move. Specifically, that Dragon type max move, if you go ahead and put Dragon Breath and Dragon Claw on your Charizard, will be very effective against any of the other Dragon potential legendaries we get. There's a lot of Dragon legendaries, so if you ever see the legendaries come to Pokemon Go, Dragon moveset Charizard, it's the only way to get Dragon moves on a Dynamax Pokemon right now, since we only have these 5 in game. So definitely recommend hunting those Charmanders. Next up, though, let's talk about Greedent. Greedent is an interesting choice, but the reason why is Greedent can actually learn 4 different types of Dynamax moves. Of course, it can learn normal, dark, ground, and grass type Dynamax moves, but specifically, Bite and Crunch is a moveset that Greedent can learn, which is dark types, and with the new spooky season coming up, of course, we could be seeing some Dynamax Pokemon ghost types, potentially maybe even psychic types, all coming during the spooky season, where dark type is pretty useful to take down any of those Dynamax Pokemon. Again, I don't know what Dynamax Pokemon we're gonna end up getting, but generally there is a theme, so definitely go ahead and get yourself some Dynamax Greedents, give them Bite and Crunch, so you have access to those dark Dynamax moves. Finally, we'll talk about Double. Double can learn Double Kick, of course, making it, I believe, the only Dynamax Pokemon currently in game that can have a Fighting Dynamax move, and Fighting is always a useful type to have. I believe it's the only type that hits normal type for super effective damage, so definitely get yourself a Double if you can. So yeah, I would definitely focus on those 3, Charmanders, Greedents, and Doubles, but again, getting as many Dynamax Pokemon is never going to hurt, and especially trying to get yourself some good IV Dynamax Pokemon for the future. Because again, these Dynamax battles are pretty hard to take down, so you're going to want to have the best possible Pokemon to make sure you're taking them down effectively and not failing them. Okay, let's talk about the bonuses during that. We have 2 times XP for spinning Pokestops. Normally when you spin a Pokestop, you're gonna get 100 XP during this event, 200 XP. It's not bad. Put on a lucky egg, 400 XP for spinning a stop. So I recommend if you have a auto catcher, it's not a bad idea to throw that on, go around town, spin a lot of stops. It can be a good way to just grind a little bit of extra XP, and it's a nice little bonus to have. So definitely try to take advantage of it, especially if you need XP. Finally, let's talk about platinum medal tips. You need 35 platinum medals to go from level 48 to 49 in Pokemon Go. Which ones should we be working on during this event? Well, there's really only one, and that will be the Showcase Star Medal. Win 100 Pokestop showcases. We have exclusive showcases during that, most likely for the new Dynamax Pokemon. You can go ahead and drop in there. Try to win those. Try to get that PhD Pikachu. Potentially as well, I could see them releasing a Dynamax badge, like complete 1,000 max battles and you'll complete the medal. If that comes out, of course, that will be another medal to go ahead and work on, but we'll have to wait and see if we actually get that. So guys, that is Dynamax. Again, I'm going to be making a full video breaking down this whole feature, and if it's out, I'll actually put it right below me, so go ahead and watch that. But I hope you guys have a fun experience with the new Dynamax. Again, it is more of a side quest thing because you can't really use any of your old Pokemon and you can't use them in PvP or raids, but I guess it's fun. It's new content. Let me know what you think of it. Are you going to be participating or not? Follow for more tips. Peace.